Hi everyone, welcome back to Cat's Book Nook. Today is actually Saturday when I'm recording this because I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So I figured a simple pre-recorded video might actually work. Today I'm going to do the bookshelf tag. So we're going to explore some of the books that I have on my shelf. The specific number for this one is 30 because Thursday was my 30th birthday. So let me go ahead and start picking out books, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Wonderful stack. So I probably should have prefaced this with I want to say over 600 books, almost 700 before I did my first haul. I don't remember how many books I got rid of, and I'm not entirely sure if I should be proud of that fact or not. So, picked 15 books using 30, so every 30th book got picked off my shelf. So I'll stop rambling and tell you some of the books that were on my shelf. So, first up, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. I actually got this book from a coworker, friend of mine, and we were having some dramatic issues in the group that we are a part of and that we started, mostly because there's this one person that just does not get it, that, professionalism and all that fun stuff, and I'm throwing stones because I'm not the most professional person in the office either. But anyway, so we got this book for Christmas one year, and we actually sent this book out to, let's say, like 4,000, 5,000 Job Corps students last year. I think might actually have been 500 instead of 5,000. But a lot of Job Corps students last year because they are going through transition phases, much like everywhere else right now is going through transition phases. And we wanted to give them something to say, you're not alone, and it's okay if you get upset, but don't sweat the small stuff, because there's a lot of small stuff that becomes big stuff. And if you sweat the small stuff now, you may not be sweating the big stuff later on down the road. And just some advice that we gave them. Inside we put a little quote. And this one says, "Dear friend, stop what you are doing, look in the mirror and say, my purpose is to lift my spirit and to be motivated. Fetchka, Federally Employed Job Corps alumni." So we thought it was a cute little gift for people. Next up is Mitch Albom's Have a Little Faith. Again, not big on dust covers, so I'm not sure where this dust cover went. I got this book for a birthday present from a fellow coworker who is actually now retired, and I still haven't read it, so maybe I should put this on my to be read list at some point. This book is actually Ray's. It's Amanda Ashley, Immortal Sins. I have not picked this book up yet. Not entirely sure if I will before anything gets said and done, mostly because it's a paranormal romance book with vampires and mortals and wizards and things like that. So, we'll see. Then this one I actually have read. It's Kresley Cole's No Rest for the Wicked. I haven't read this one. I have read other Kresley Cole books, and I kind of liked them, but that was when I was going through the period of romantic novels were my thing. Not so much anymore, so back of the to be read list. If you can guess this novel before I say what it is, because this thing is massive. Bonus points. So, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. I have actually wanted to read this book, and I love the movie, so I wanted to tackle the book at some point in my life. And as you can see, there's not really any cover creases or spine creases yet, because I haven't really read this yet. So, this definitely has to go on my to be read list, probably 2018. Kelley Armstrong, No Humans Involved. I have read 2 or 3 of her Bitten novels. an Otherworld novels. That's actually what the series is Otherworld. Not bad. I haven't read this book yet. I actually think this book is Ray's. We had a lot of similar books when we moved in together. So it was kind of cool. But I haven't read this book yet. Actually haven't picked up the Otherworld series since I tried to read I know what it was. It was the book right after Bitten. And I started to read it, but I couldn't quite get into it. Stolen. Haven't finished Stolen yet. So, might go on my to-be read list. Might also get on hold as we are packing to move. Christine Feehan's Oceans of Fire. I picked this book up a long time ago. Tried to read it. Gave me nightmares just because, night dreams do that to you. To me, at least. They weren't bad nightmares, but they were weird enough that I did not finish this book. Lafferty, The Shambling Guide to New York City. This is book 1 of 2. Actually had a podcast called The Afterlife series with Kate and Daniel. If you have Podbean, if you have iTunes podcasts, great series, very interesting listens. If you're looking for an audiobook that you can just plug in and listen to and you don't have to download anything special for it, check them out. There's 5 books in the series. They go from heaven to hell to afterlife, war, and there's one more that I'm not remembering the name of it. But she's a very good author. This book is about Zoe Norris, who actually, she thinks she's human, and most of the people around her think that she's human, but she's actually got a little bit more to her than that. Check it out if you can. Alright, so the next book on this list is Myst by Yasmine Galenorn. I've got her sister's trilogy, or series, and this was her next series that I picked up because it was on sale at Borders. Actually has the Borders sticker on the back. That's how old this book is. So, might read, might not. This next book's actually Ray's. Sherrilyn, Kenyon, and Dianna love Whispered Lies. I like Sherrilyn Kenyon, but I never got into these books. And you can tell how old this book is because it's still got the $5.99 thing on the cover. And this was probably like 90 something. This was actually 2009. That's surprising because I was pretty sure after that it started being $7.99 for a paperback. So, possibly on the to be read list, not entirely sure yet. So, Wreck This Journal is actually pages upon pages of things that you can do to destroy this journal. Make a mess, clean it up, make a sudden destructive, unpredictable movement with this journal. You're supposed to carry this book wherever you go, and then after you're done with it, you tape this journal closed and mail it to yourself, which I thought was pretty neat, and it was on my day 0 project list for a really long time. I haven't done this yet, as you can tell. May even give it to the kids for the kids to use, especially since we have a freshman. Next book is Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I watched the miniseries, and it made me want to pick up the book. If you haven't seen the miniseries, you've got Ian McShane, the guy that was in The Knight's Tale, the bad guy in that series, who is actually trying to become a stonemason, and he hasn't gone to school or anything like that. He's building this church from scratch. And it's the story of how long the church takes to build, along with meeting Eddie Rainman's character, who is mute in the beginning of it, isn't later on, and just how building a church becomes people's livelihood back in the I want to say 1500s, because it revolves around the church in Glastonbury, I think, if I'm remembering the story correctly, because there's no blurb on the back. Otherwise, I'd tell you the blurb on the back. But picked this book up actually at a secondhand bookstore. Just happened to walk in one day, found it, $2.50, didn't want to pass it up. So, one of these days. A lot of these books are one of these days books. So, Seanan McGuire. This is an October Day novel, An Artificial Night. This is the book that really gave me nightmares. Yeah. So it's basically Toby has to go find the person that is stealing both Fae and mortal children. And all signs point to Blind Michael, who he tripped me up a lot. And I almost did not finish this book. But once I got through it, it turned out really good at the end. And one of her squires, the person that's working with her, learns a very hard lesson of what it means to be Fae when you actually love a mortal. So, I like this book. 2 more books and I promise then I'll shut up. So, again, no dust jacket. This is Sherrilyn Kenyon's No Mercy book. I have not read this, and I actually think I have the paperback of it somewhere. I picked this up. As you can see, there's some stuff on it. Picked this up and never read it. I think I got it on the discount bookshelf at Books A Million, and just because I needed to complete the series. And this last one actually does have a dust jacket, guys. This is Vision in Silver by Anne Bishop. This is the 4th book in the Others trilogy. I think this is the 4th book. This might just be the 3rd book. I think this is actually the 3rd book. Because it's Visions in Silver, Marked in Flesh, and then Etched in Bone. So 3rd book. Really like the series, obviously, because she keeps popping up. I actually don't remember what this book's about. That's sad. Favorite book series and don't remember what it's about. So I will have to put this on my winter to be read list, although it ends up on my January to be read list every year, so we'll see. But those are some of the books on my shelf. As you can see, very eclectic tastes and books that I probably will not read and probably need to unhaul at some point. So with that, I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.